What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you 5 of the greatest innovations in gaming, and more specifically, video games. As an industry that has been around since the 70s, naturally there has been a lot of change and growth in that time. So today I thought it would be fun to walk you through some of the biggest innovations in this sphere that have led the industry to its lofty heights that we see today. Kicking it off right at the start here with yearly game releases. Now, as a content creator, I do know a thing or two about releasing a slightly altered version of the same thing repeatedly. So when I see franchises like Assassin's Creed or Call of Duty release effectively the same game year after year, it simply screams innovation to me. Now, sure, this has led to a creative stagnation that has ultimately culminated in things like a coining of the phrase an Ubisoft open world. But as we all know, in order to innovate, you've really got to get those creative types under control in the name of the almighty dollar. Which naturally leads us right into our second entry, which is loot boxes. I don't know about you, but personally, after I've already paid full price for a game, I think it only makes sense to throw more of my money at useless garbage that serves no purpose other than to drain my wallet. And this was done in an especially innovative way, where they feed off of potential gambling addictions in order to facilitate the earning of more funds, making sure that we all remember that no amount of money will ever be enough money for our corporate overlords. Which leads us directly into our next innovation, which is microtransactions. Now, the wonderful innovation of these systems, much like loot boxes, is further milking people for money that they've already paid you. Now, oftentimes this is presented as a method to fund further development on a particular title, despite the gaming industry at large having generated almost $184 billion in revenue last year alone. You see, if the games don't have these microtransactions, the people at the top might only be able to afford one summer vacation home, which you know will lead to them being laughed at by all of their executive friends, which is simply not a world that I would like to live in. But on to our next entry, and perhaps my own personal favorite, is the progress boosters. In essence, kind of a subsection of the microtransactions, I admit. Where I'm from, we have a nice saying that goes, "Don't buy a torch from the people making it dark." See, progress boosters are, I think, the eye-opening innovation that made me realize that many gaming companies are simply playing a different game than you. You see, the game they are playing is how much money can they get from you. And in order to facilitate this, sometimes they will create a problem and then sell you the solution. In the case of progress boosters, they will intentionally slow down things like experience gain or other mechanics associated with it, so they can then sell you the progress booster, the solution to their manufactured problem, which is an innovation that will keep us drowning in extra revenue for years to come, I'm sure. Because everyone knows the hallmark of a good game is a game that allows you to pay to skip it, which leads naturally into our final entry, which is pay to win. Now, some people would have you believe that the entire purpose of gaming would be the accumulation of either the skill or the journey itself that leads to the end result, and satisfaction of either having learned a skill or overcome a challenge in some way. But pay to win, especially in multiplayer settings, completely bypasses all of that. Why do any sort of growth or work or overcome any amount of challenge when you could simply pay them more money to allow you to be big and strong, thus kneecapping the entire purpose of the game itself? And nothing says gaming innovation like removing the entire purpose of your game existing in the first place. Truly the greatest of innovations, by reminding us all that these are simply video games, and by making all progress or engagement with them meaningless, developers have actually been playing 4D chess to remind us that it is all pointless. So, my hat is off to whoever came up with the idea of pay to win. And naturally, that is where we are going to leave off on this particular video, talking about some of the greatest innovations in the space. And like many of you, I'm sure, I am looking forward to seeing how, in the future, corporate executives who have never played a video game in their life choose to monetize them in a way to take advantage of their players even further. But for today, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.